everybody. My name is Javon Amos. I'm originally born in Kansas City, Missouri, but I was raised in Nashville, Tennessee. I chose to do this video because a lot of the time, people are convicted unjustly. Sometimes the system can just be where it's set up by guidelines instead of the situation at hand. The guidelines don't fit the situations. So I'm here to talk to everybody out there that doesn't understand what a lot of people that are called so-called criminals go through when they're really not bad people.
Give the audience or the viewers a little background of what your offense was.
My offense was first-degree murder, aggravated battery, and assault. The situation was this. I was with one of my friends. We went to meet one of my ex-friends who really didn't have no good intentions for me when I showed up. So I'm thinking that, we just socialize and doing what we gonna do, But when I get there, the story is something else. It's a situation where this person has a problem with me that I don't know about. I'm thinking that I don't have enemies. I'm thinking that we're good friends. I'm thinking that, everything is peachy keen. But when I get there, his whole intentions were to kill me.
Now, is this the friend that you rode with or the friend you went to go see?
This is a friend that I didn't go to see because I didn't even know I was going to be seeing him. I was with the friend that took me there.
Okay.
So when I went there and I seen him, I'm like, hey, what's up? I ain't seen you in a while. But he had already set this up for me to be seen, for me to show up. So it was a complete and total surprise to me.
So do you think your friend that you were originally riding with, do you think he was a part of this that set it all up? She was.
Yeah, she was a part of this. And he told me before anything went down.
Oh, wow. So she was a part.
Yeah, he told me that he told her to bring me there.
Oh, wow. So you get there, then what happens?
We're talking. At that time, I was in the middle of a record deal with Universal and Def Jam. And the man was like, hey, boy, you was about to leave all the stuff I done done for you. Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? I don't owe you no money or nothing like that. I mean, if I did, you tell me what I owe you or whatever the case may be, but I didn't owe him no money. But he felt like that he should be compensated for something in regards to our friendship. And I told him, I was like, man, what's all this about? And he said, oh, this is about that record deal that you just signed. I'm like, how you know I had that? And he was like, oh, Mia told me. Did she? Yeah, I told her to bring you over here. So I looked at her. She's like, I don't know. It was just one of them things where I just got put in place. Something can come to you. You're just defending yourself. And you get the full blame.
So when I'm assuming, and I'm going to move a little bit up, so I'm assuming there's an altercation that took place where you ended up having to really fight for your life.
Exactly. And didn't have no problem doing it. If it's me or you, it's you. Well, first he told me about our little friendship history. You know what I'm saying? I told him what I was there for. I was like, hey, man, I don't know nothing about what you're talking about. But, he said, hey, man, we found out that you came up on about $80,000, man. Where that's at? I was like, man, I ain't got no $80,000. I signed a record deal, though. I was like, but I ain't got no money yet. He was like, yeah. She told me that you got the money. You're going to take it to it. You're going to take us to it, or you're going to die tonight. He said, matter of fact, hey, cuz, little gangbanger. He said, hey, cuz, go get the plastic. Now, go get the plastic only means one thing to me.
What's that?
No blood will drop, and I will be wrapped.
Okay.
And at this point in time, I had a gun in my face. But in rewind, while he was saying that, he turned his head. Mistake. I feared for my life, was told that I was going to lose my life. So when he turned his head and wasn't looking, I took his.
Where was the young lady that was there that witnessed all of this? Why wasn't she able to come forward and say what happened?
Now, the young lady that was there, she got caught too. And the DA told her, look, you are accessory to murder. You turn state, or you're just going to continue to be accessory to murder. What's your deal? She said, shit, I'm on jail. So, the same person that set me up was the same person that got me my time.
So, but I mean, and there was no other way to, let's fast forward. You get in, you're convicted of 20 years to life or 25. What was your actual conviction?
I was convicted and sentenced to 20 years to life for felony murder. They offered me 53 years to life first, and then said, hey, we give you a plea, we'll erase the robbery, we'll erase the aggravated assault, and we'll just get you for the murder, and we'll just give you 20 to life. My understanding in that case was, how am I do that? So I had a public defender, which I would say is a public pretender. He wasn't communicating with me, telling me what was going on and stuff like that. So I ended up in court for no reason. Didn't know I had court. And when I went to court, the judge talked to me.
So let's go back and let's talk about the terms. We talked about earlier, you talked about guidelines and statutes, and they said 20 years to life, and you said you did 21 years?
21 years, yes. Once I got to my 20-year point, it took a whole year for the parole board to let me go.
So how many times did you, let's back up to, did you ever try to appeal your case or say that you didn't have a great lawyer? Did you try any of that stuff? How did that work?
Yeah, I appealed my case, and it took them maybe like 6-7 years to get me in there. They kept saying that they were backed up. It was just too much stuff going on. But when I got there, I was going on judiciary misconduct against the judge. When he took me off the record, I was coerced. I was scared. I didn't want to do. I know I can't do 53 years. They know that's too much time for anybody to trying to survive in the penitentiary. They waited until he retired to get me into court. And when I got there, the DA, his name was Gorman. He said, Judge, he's just here because he's done realized that he's got this time and we can't, and he ain't there to testify for himself. And I'm telling him what he did, and they just totally disregarded me, sent me back.
So you spend this time in prison. I can only imagine, just watching the different documentaries and different shows, prison life is more violent than the outside world, in my opinion. That is my opinion from what I see. Yes, you do have bars that protect you, but you still have a whole element that you got to protect yourself against in prison. That is, you are in there with people who have committed violent crimes, multiple murders, drug trafficking, sex crimes, all kind of stuff. And now you're the new kid on the block. You have to stand your ground, prove that I'm not going to be this kid that you think you can run over. So I understand the whole dynamics of that. But the whole argument with the prison system and the criminal justice system that we hear a lot of is that, oh, it's a place of rehabilitation. We're punishing them for crimes that they did on the outside. So when they go back out into society, they can re-enter into society as a model citizens. But you told me you had a 20 years to life sentence when in actuality you have a life sentence, because I don't, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I've never been to prison, never been in a prison, but I mean, anybody with common sense that watch documentaries and see different things can say, or meet people from prison, you're not coming back to the same world you left because you've been confined all this time. And then when you come back, where do you start? Where do you begin? Because now you have a record. Nobody wants to really hire, especially felons, people with records. And how are they preparing you to enter into the society? I know those are a lot of questions. So let's break down. Getting close to your time, what was your rehabilitation time?
Well, let me start from the beginning of what you said. The streets is more violent than the penitentiary.
Okay.
But the only difference is you have to put the guns down. You have no support. You're on your own. Got to stay on your own 10 toes. Mind you, the penitentiary is still very dangerous, but you got more threats on the streets.
Okay.
If you live in a life that is not correct as far as how, Christian people would say, you ain't in the streets, you ain't doing this and doing that. But you can be a Christian and still be victimized by the people that are in the streets. But in prison, the police turn you against each other. They make it obvious if you're saying, hey, I need some help. Can you help me? This guy is trying, hey, everybody, this guy needs some help. And they walk you out and everybody's like, he's a rat. Now you got all type of different type of situations going on. But what they do is, they make the situations for you worse. They almost take you to a point where you feel like you ain't got no hope left. You need mental guidance, so you get into mental health. And a lot of the time what they do in mental health is just Thorazine you up. Just numb you. And mess you up even more. You was a normal person one day, and then 2 months later, people see you like, hey, what's up, Roscoe? What's up, Javon? And all this, just messed up. That's what they do to you. As far as preparing you for the streets, a lot of states don't want to fund that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they'll start out funding something, but what states do is they prey on the feds assistance. So what they do is they'll start gang fights. They'll start this type of stuff and say, hey, we told you, hey, feds, we can't handle it. We need funding. Look at what's going on. But they push us all together. They don't give us nothing to do. We don't get to watch no TV, no real good TV. We grown men, and they won't let us listen to explicit music. They won't let us look at rated R movies. Everything is like Barney, Teletubbies. It's crazy. They'll take everything out that makes a man be a man. So if it's a swimsuit edition of a magazine or something like that, they won't let it in. But let a magazine come in with a whole bunch of men in Speedos. That's all porn to me. Why y'all letting that in? Why y'all want us looking at men? So it's a situation where, you are putting a person's mind state at risk. So when it comes to education and putting you back and getting you ready for the streets, you have to fight for it because they don't want to fund it. So you have to go around corners, talk to somebody up, or have something that they call undue familiarity, which is an inappropriate relationship with staff. You have to get this person to like you, get you where you want to be, get you where you want to go, get into place. And they do have programs, but, you know, let's say that the population is 500, but they only got room for 23. So only the rare few can get any type of help, while the rest of them still don't feel like they got no hope.
Mm. So it's more of a mental game than anything, from what I understand, the whole prison, being in the prison.
Exactly, because if you're incarcerated 365 days a year behind the same walls, you're on 23-hour lockdown. You're in one box for 23 hours, and then they let you out to breathe, to see the sky, to see a butterfly for 1 hour, and then you right back to it. It's like it drives you crazy.
Right. It's a mental thing. It's a mental game. So it's like the strongest will survive, if that's a correct term to use.
Exactly. Because when you're locked up with 3 or 4 people in one cell, come on now, you know, even families in one household have arguments.
Right.
But you're in a room with 5 other people, 4 other people, just depends on the cell is set up. You ain't gonna always have no understanding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if that person don't care about your life, don't care about his, he got a knife, a pipe, no karate, whatever the case may be, just might be a just beast with his hands, got a problem.
Right.
So what you have to do is meet the aggression that you're getting. And now you got a mess. Right. Somebody's going to the infirmary and somebody's going to the hole. It's segregation.
Mm-hmm.
And if the situation was too bad, there's charges. And if the situation was bad for the other person, they'll give you some more time. They'll take you down time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, hey, I was defending myself. I heard him, but you gonna give me 5 more years? You know what I'm saying? So they'll keep stacking time on you, but they put you in that situation. So honestly, to tell the truth, you know, to reintegrate into society, it's not on the state. It's on you. You have to convince them that you're ready to go home. You have to convince them that you have the mindset that says, hey, I want to live a life, I respect life and other people's lives and their possessions, and I just want to go on and be a normal citizen in the community. That's what they want to hear. That's what they want to believe. And if you cannot convince them, oh, okay, we sent you to 20 to life, you're up for parole, yeah, we don't believe you. 5 more years. Come back and see us in 5 more years. But I haven't done anything wrong since I've been here. I haven't done anything but educate myself, set programs, saved money. I have people that vouching for me, but they need to get that more. They need to get more money out of you. It's like farming. You got cattle with the tail with the number clips. Your money every day for the state. So it's big business.
It is big business.
It's not reform. It's not trying to help you. It's not trying to protect the community. They don't care about the community. What they want to do is get money. And that's what it's about. I was released June 1st of 2022. I haven't even been out a year yet.
Okay, and how has it been finding your way since you've been out? How has it been?
Well, I was one of the ones that was a problem. I was just like all the rest of them. I was in violent acts and all this type of stuff, and you know, it's hard to survive in there. They give you maybe $21 a month, and you work because you're a ward of the state, so officially you are a slave. I saved up a little money, and when I came out, you know, I took my little $12,000 that I saved up over 21 years, and I came out and got me a car. You know, I got with certain felon-friendly websites that, you know, could possibly help me get a job and get me in place where I could be. They're supposed to give you funding for PTSD because anything after 5 years, you have trauma.
Oh, yeah.
You see murders, stabbings, fights, rapes. You see all this type of stuff. Whether you are a part of it or not, it's something that's now a part of you. So, it's just one of those things where you have to make sure that whatever you have coming out of there, you have to put it in the right places. And, if you got family, and ain't burnt no bridges before you got out or before you went, that's all you have.
Right.
Because, you have a parole officer or a probation officer or whatever, and they like, hey, man, look, we know a lot of people got outlets out here. Some drink, some smoke, some go to church, some watch movies, whatever your outlet is. But they're going to make sure that your outlet ain't drugs and it ain't all the other stuff. And you can't have no contact with police. Like, a lot of normal abiding citizens have contact with police. They might want to call somebody and say, hey, somebody's breaking in my house, or this guy's trying to do something to me, or we have a problem with parking a car, he's in my yard, or whatever the case may be. I cannot do that. I can't call for help. Because if I call the police and I have contact, then I have to tell my parole officer. And if he feels like he just wants to say, hey, man, look, man, I'm sending you back to prison. Now, the fact that most jobs don't want to hire felons, and some states have tried to change the guidelines on that. But how am I supposed to survive when after I leave a system that is supposed to be helping me and rehabilitating me and trying to get me ready for society won't accept me?
Right.
So you go to the Social Security offices, human resources, and all that little stuff, you know what I'm saying? And you tell them, hey, I need assistance. They're like, well, we need to send you to a psychiatrist. We need to get you mentally evaluated. We don't want to get you nothing because we don't think nothing wrong with you. I've been to prison over 5 years. Something's wrong with me.
Right.
So it's like, what do? You know what I'm saying? After you are so-called convicted of a crime that you so-called did and so-called traumatized, it's almost like I'm victimized of being raped. I was raped of my life. And a rape victim is traumatized. But I got raped of my life, young years. I went down when I was 23 and got out when I was 44. I didn't get to go to the prom. I didn't get to, all that stuff when I was young before I caught this case. But then again, I didn't get a chance to buy a house, hold down a job, live a family life. Technology took off on me. They didn't have touchscreen telephones. They didn't have Wi-Fi and all this other stuff. So when I come out here, it's even harder for me to live than the average citizen because I have to learn all over again. And they don't want us to have internet connections and stuff like that because they're afraid that we gonna find out or know something that we shouldn't know. Or maybe just use it to escape. That's what they want to say. So we can't have internet. We don't have computers. They won't update their systems to the community.
Right.
So you're like 10, 15 years behind the average world. So when you get out, I ain't gonna say you're stupid or you're dumb, but you're not informed. You're not educated on how to handle life. So a lot of the time when this situation happens, the people that get out of prison, they be like, man, it's just better going back to prison because I can't handle that out there.
Right.
Some don't even want to leave because there's no way to handle what's going on out here because they do not prepare you for it. They should be giving you those computer skills. They should allow you to have some type of access to the internet with some stipulations, I would guess. If I was talking for the rest of the people that's already locked up, give us all of it, but they ain't gonna do that. But give us something. Something for us to keep us up to date with the world. So when you get out here, it's all on your family. It's all on your support group.
Right.
They're the ones that's going to bring you up to speed. They're the ones going to teach you how to work your iPhone. They're the ones that are going to teach you how to go through an app. They're the ones that's going to get you back and forth until you get a car. They're the ones that's going to teach you that, hey, you can't go into the place and go fill out no paper application. Now you got to go on this site. You know, it's just a situation where prison does have a good purpose for some people, but not all people.
Right.
But everyone that goes to prison should get that rehabilitation. That it's called a corrections facility.
Right. I get that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So if you're in a corrections facility, they should have everything to correct you.
Even though you confessed, you did admit, yes, I was protecting myself and you served this time. You did not say prison was a waste. You said it is a need for it for those people that need it, that really need it. And you know that's truthfulness and what is up for debate now with a lot of people out there. The other thing that I like that you said was, well, your interview was really a lot of loaded comments to where it's a lot of shows that we could break down the dynamics, and it's about what you're allowed to view, the TV, the shows, the internet, and the fact that you said, like you said, it says correctional in the word facility of whatever, whether it's, and I believe you did yours at Lansing Correctional Facility, correct?
I did mine all over the state. I was in El Dorado Correctional Facility, Lansing Correctional Facility, Hutchinson Correctional Facility, Ellsworth Correctional Facility. They send you all over the state. They just ship you around. Wow. And put you in a brand new situation every time.
So why would you go ahead, I'm sorry, why were you transferred so much?
Transferred?
Yes.
Sometimes, well, I'll keep it honest with you. Sometimes you get transferred because you done beat somebody to death, or you done did something wrong. But a lot of times they do it because they need space for other people. Sometimes they'll put all the bad people in one place.
Okay.
So you have institutions like Hutchinson, Kansas, which is Hutchinson Correctional Facility. If you're a bad dude and you done some bad things, you're there. And that means the whole facility is all messed up people, violent people. You know what I'm saying? Rapists. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever it is that they are the best at what they do, and they are for real, and they put them all in the same place. Because they have a certain goon squad or a certain setup there where, you know, they'll put you in a hole, in a small room, like a bathroom, for 5 years.
Wow.
And only let you out 1 hour a day. And you got to choose. Do you want to go take a shower, do your hygiene, or you go out there to the yard? But you're going to choose one. So a lot of the time, you may not even bathe.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, sometimes you won't even see outside. You know what I'm saying? And you don't go nowhere. If you got medical issues, the doctor or the nurse, somebody, they going to come to you. And if you got food that's going to be eaten, they're going to bring it to you. You're not going to leave that cell for 5 years. So keep it real with yourself. Protect yourself. Always weigh the consequences and repercussions of your actions. And for the people that are on the outside that are looking at those people that are being convicted of these things, what you hear on TV, on the news, or whatever you think that, you know, is on, you know, is the situation, is far more sinister. Like Rick Ross said, you don't know the truth.